Good morning and welcome to the inaugural episode of Coffee with Chris, brought to you by that legal liquid crack coffee. So, I want to talk a little bit about what Coffee with Chris is going to be. It is an Amazon FBA e-commerce arbitrageur seller related show where we're going to talk about news. It's essentially my 5 Things Friday email in a little bit more of a palatable and digestible format, which is video. Um, and of course, we'll have time for questions at the end of every episode. They are going to be fairly short. The goal is 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll be out of your hair for the day so that you can get back to crushing what is left of Q4, although this whole year has felt like Q4. Tycoon, what's going on? Odie, Maria, welcome to the show. Welcome to the inaugural show. If you are here, do me a huge favor and smash the like button for the respective algorithms. This is in my VIP group. This is also in FBA Today and on the YouTubes. And hopefully this is received well, and we'll continue to do this for the ongoing future here. Coffee time. What's going on, Beverly? Jane, good morning. Valerie, what is going on, everybody? Good to see everybody in here. All right, so let's get started. I wanted to start off with news of the inane. And yes, that is the proper word, inane. Sounds a lot better than news of the stupid. But NordPass came out with a report just recently, and the most popular password of 2020 is 123456. Let's do better, America. Now, on to some Amazon news. Amazon just released some information, and yes, I will be reading from notes. But Amazon just released some information that they expect the IPI storage limit to stay the same through at least about mid-December. And they're going to, well, they didn't quite say that. They said that there will be a storage limit update come mid-December. They didn't really tell us what's going to be happening to the storage update in mid-December, whether or not it's going to stay the same, if they're going to remove ASIN limits, or if they're going, what they're, maybe they decide they want to go to 600 instead of 500. But everything is going to stay exactly the same as it is right now. Now, of course, this means that you're probably going to be pivoting a lot more to merchant fulfilled this Q4, as I know that many folks that I have talked with have. So what I would suggest, and I would like to give a shout out to Phil in our VIP chat last night. He shared some cutoff dates for the USPS. Make sure you go out and Google those. I forgot to print them out and share them with you. But it's important to know when the cutoff dates are for the different types of shipping so that you don't get in any trouble if you're shipping for, Christmas presents, things like that this Q4. You want to make sure you keep those metrics nice and clean. If you would like to be able to see this information, it is in the news section in your Seller Central, and it is an interesting read nonetheless. The next thing is Amazon came out with some guidelines or some guidance on how to improve your FBA inventory performance or keep that IPI score high. And it's not really anything that we didn't know. So they want you to reduce your excess inventory to increase your profitability. And of course, these are written in to help you, although they are really just what Amazon wants you to do. But they really don't want you having long tail items at Amazon. They want you to increase your sell through to balance your inventory weeks to cover. Ensure that your inventory is buyable by fixing stranded listings. And keep popular items in stock. And those are the things that are going to mostly affect your IPI score. Now, they do come in here and answer some questions that does deleting old listings negatively impact my IPI? And the answer is no. So make sure that you read that as well. It is some good information, although nothing I don't think we didn't already know. Marcello, what's going on? Carolyn, good morning. All right, now on to some news that is not directly from Amazon. If your children watch what's it, Ryan's World on YouTube, he is also coming to Amazon. Amazon Prime is going to uh, give him his own show. It's going to be a 30-minute show on Amazon Kids Plus. It's not only going to be a live action show, but it's also going to mix in some animation as well. And apparently, he's going to be a super spy. So if he didn't annoy you enough on your kids' iPads, now they will be able to watch him on Amazon Prime as well. Uh, in the What Grinds My Gears section, a few Amazon employees over in Spain, 5 of them to be exact, were just arrested for stealing almost $600,000 worth of iPhones. Now, the way that they were doing it was fairly interesting. It seems that they were making orders, legitimate orders on Amazon for different products. And then at the very last moment, someone inside would actually switch out the item for an iPhone. Now, the way they got caught was because the boxes actually weighed different. They weren't smart enough to try to figure out a product that weighed similar to an iPhone, which I don't know, that would have been the first thing that I did. But I'm not a criminal. Now, I shared this earlier this week, and I found out that this is not something that is new or yeah, it happens. I wouldn't say frequently, but it happens a lot more often than we think. Someone here in the States was actually arrested for stealing like $10,000 worth of Amazon gift cards as an Amazon employee. So if you plan on trying to bilk Amazon, please make sure that you are doing a better job or at least get some smarter folks inside. Let's see. Bezos. Jeff needed a little bit of walking around money this month, and so he cashed in $3 billion worth of stock. Now, nothing to really worry about if you own Amazon stock. This was part of a planned trade, but he did get about $3.1 billion worth of Amazon shares cashed out. This year, that makes for, I believe, $10 billion in cash money that he has taken out of stock. But don't worry, he's got plenty more. He still owns about 53 million shares or about $170 billion worth of Amazon stock, and likely to increase, especially the way that things are going with Amazon. Now, I know a lot of this he does plan to invest in other ventures. He's got Blue Origin. He's also got the Climate Pledge Fund, I believe. Or maybe he's buying another beach house. I know that they bought something fairly recently with him and his girlfriend. But a little bit of walking around money is what Bezos got this month at $3.1 billion. Now, Seller X. This one was actually pretty fascinating. There's a company out there called Seller X, and they are looking to be what they call the Procter and Gamble of internet brands. So they've actually raised 118 million US dollars, 118 or 100 million euro, I believe. And their plan is to buy up small and medium-sized Amazon businesses. They're especially going to be going after Amazon businesses that sell items that are regularly replenished. So household goods, grocery, cosmetics, health and personal care, those kind of things. And then their goal is to acquire and then grow those Amazon businesses. Now, I find this interesting because it's not unusual to buy an Amazon business, but it is new-ish to go out and buy what could be a lot of them. $100 million worth of Amazon businesses could be quite a few out there. Now, the reason I find this interesting is because now that there is venture capital and hedge fund, let's see, I believe it was hedge fund guys who are backing, or sorry, it was Cherry Ventures. The reason I find this interesting is they know where the future is going. The future is going to be e-commerce, and we've talked about it for years. We know that the trend is to e-commerce, and of course, this year that trend has hastened tenfold. It's gone. The growth of e-commerce has grown rapidly, and we're going to see that continue to go as lockdowns occur more and more here in the U.S. I know that last night, I believe Ohio was had a curfew put in place. I know that California and several other places are going back to a more strict stay-at-home policy, and we're going to see that continue until the vaccines are ready and safe and everyone's willing to use them, I would imagine. So I found that really, really interesting. The other thing is pharma packs. Pharma packs just received $250 million in funding so that they could continue to grow. Now, not necessarily a big fan of pharma packs, but they are growing. They are going outside of the health and personal care space. They're getting into grocery. They're also on multiple platforms, including Walmart, eBay. I believe they may be on Target now, which is a difficult platform to get onto, as well as their own website and Google Shopping. So I know that there's definitely a lot of money being banked in the e-commerce space. And then the final piece for the day, and then we'll see if there are any questions that I can answer. But the final piece is a few years ago, Amazon bought PillPax. PillPax was an online pharmacy company. And now, as of this week, Amazon has decided to put their name on the product called Amazon Pharmacy. Now, the reason that I think this is interesting is, one, I went ahead and signed up and got a prescription through them. And the process was incredibly easy. They're even going to call my doctor and the current pharmacy and get everything switched over for me so that I literally have to do nothing but get my refills and pay them. Now, this is estimated to be a $1.3 trillion industry by 2025. I believe right now the online industry is about 131 billion. So this is a huge industry to break into. And they've already got touch points with over 100 million customers in the US alone. As this is where they're starting. They'll be expanding to other countries, of course. But they've already got a huge touch point with Amazon Prime. And if they can go ahead and get their hooks into their customers a little bit deeper, this is only going to fare well for the Amazon retail side and third-party sellers. So I found that was interesting. Whether or not you trust Amazon with that kind of information is up to you. But I think that it's an interesting way to keep Amazon customers even more on the platform. So that is the news this week from the command center in sunny Central Florida. Let's see if we've got any questions, and then we will call it a day, guys. So let's see here. Yeah, Steal Smarter, absolutely. Amazon Pharmacy. As a nurse, this scares me. I could absolutely see that. I would hate to see someone screw up at Amazon Pharmacy, and if they decide to, I don't know. I mean, I've had my own pharmacist make mistakes, so I made sure to give them a prescription that was a low mistake kind of thing. Did you find different prices from where you get medication? I haven't seen the prices yet. Let's see here. Need to get you a green screen. I thought about that. Maybe next week we'll have some things up in the corners for each different piece of news. But that'll be for next week. All right. All right, guys. So this is going to be every Friday, 9:30 a.m. We will do Coffee with Chris. We'll talk about news of the week, any interesting tidbits or things that I come up with. By next week, I'll also have a new email address up. It'll be tips@cleartheshelf.com. Please don't email that yet, as it's not live, it's not active, but I will have it ready to go for next week. And if you have any tips or anything that you'd like to share or see shared on Coffee with Chris, or news or articles or anything that you find interesting, I'd love to see them, as it can be difficult to keep your finger on the pulse of all the industry news. So, guys, if you guys hopefully are working on your Q4 strategy, but I hope you guys continue to crush it. We'll call it a day today. If Amazon doesn't work out, do you have a backup? Yes, I have several backups. I have a couple of businesses, about 3 currently. So yes, we do have backups here. But we'll be doing this every Friday at 9:30. I hope to see you guys next week for another round of Coffee with Chris. And until then, guys, stay safe. Have an incredible weekend. Wash your hands. And as always, good selling.